watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
So glad you're with us on this Monday. It is 6 a.m. now. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Chris Groh. We had quite a mixed bag, as we've been saying here over the weekend with our weather forecast. Able to get to the beach and kind of deal with the marine layer, and then some sun yesterday.
Yeah,
kind of everything.
got some sun on hand yesterday. There were some showers Saturday night, early Sunday. They didn't culminate to much, only a few hundredths of an inch across the county. However, it was still enough to impact the Padres game. You saw some of the rain coming down in those videos and the live actual gameplay. When we look at satellite radar to kick off your Monday, though, what would typically start off the day with as dense marine layer, not so much a concern. We've got a few clouds around the greater downtown area. That's about it. By the afternoon, sunshine across the county and even warmer temperatures. 73 out by the coast, 82 inland. We're going to keep getting warmer and warmer and peak on Wednesday. Coming up, we'll talk about how warm we'll get. Back to you.
Thank you, Evan. Later today, the public will get a chance to weigh in on Mayor Todd Gloria's final proposed city budget.
A revised version was released last week, and CBS 8's Regina Yarita live downtown with the recent changes and how people can still make their voices heard here. Regina?
Hey, good morning, Chris and Eric. That's right. The final revised budget for this proposed budget for fiscal year 2026 was released last week by Mayor Todd Gloria. There were some modifications to some of the decisions that he had originally introduced, but as far as this draft, obviously there is going to be some pushback. There has already been some pushback. So in terms of today, the new version of that draft will be presented before the City Council at 2 p.m. with a public hearing taking place at 6 p.m. Now, we've been following the changes and feedback. We know that back in April, when the preliminary draft of the budget was released, it was criticized by several community members. And that's because the draft called for potential reductions in library hours, homelessness services, and even the elimination of the city's beach fire pits. For now, from what the mayor has introduced, all of those listed remain unchanged. But last week, the mayor instead restored the San Diego Police Department's Northwestern substation in Carmel Valley. So under the updated budget, patrol officers will continue operating from the Northwestern Division, but the department will now report to a lieutenant rather than a captain. The revised budget also reinstates 2 vice detective positions that had been eliminated in the earlier draft. And Mayor Gloria has also announced restoring some money to the San Diego Humane Society. However, this is all happening as the city is facing a projected $258 million budget deficit. So back out here, that public hearing will be taking place at 6 p.m. We'll know more details about this draft for the proposed budget of fiscal year 2026. As far as the final approval of the budget, that will be taking place on June 10th. Chris and Eric, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Regina. And new this morning, former President Joe Biden is sharing an update after he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer.
And he shared this photo here today saying, quote, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we are strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support." CBS's Naomi Ruckham has a closer look at the diagnosis and reaction.
Former President Joe Biden and his family say they're reviewing treatment options after he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. In a statement, the Biden family says the diagnosis came after doctors found a nodule on his prostate when he was seen for increased urinary symptoms.
There's been tremendous progress in the treatment of prostate cancer over the last decade and a half.
Cancer doctors say there are effective treatments despite the 82-year-old former president's advanced age.
Patients, even who are diagnosed with more aggressive, more advanced stage disease, can live many years and have good quality of life.
President Donald Trump reacted on social media saying, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We wish Joe a fast and successful recovery." Former President Barack Obama adding in a statement, "Nobody has done more to find breakthrough treatments for cancer in all its forms than Joe, and I'm certain he will fight this challenge with his trademark resolve and grace." Mr. Obama was referring to Mr. Biden's Cancer Moonshot Initiative, aimed at better research, prevention, and care.
Let's end cancer as we know it. Cure some cancers once and for all.
The initiative was inspired by his late son Beau Biden's battle with brain cancer. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
And this morning, prayers and positive thoughts are pouring in from local leaders. Representative Scott Peters writing on X, I know he will face this challenge with the same strength and resilience he's displayed throughout his life. Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs writing, anyone who knows him knows that he's tough as nails. I'm praying for a swift and full recovery. Senator Adam Schiff said, we are wishing him all the strength he needs as he takes cancer head on. And Senator Alex Padilla writing on X, we hope the entire Biden family keep the faith and find the strength for the fight ahead. Our hearts are with you. We talked with a UC San Diego doctor and professor who's an expert on bladder cancer about former President Biden's diagnosis. And he tells us, even though the cancer is advanced, there are still ways Biden can manage the disease. He's expressing the importance of getting screened for prostate cancer in your 40s or 50s or earlier if your family has a history of it.
Amazing tools, including superb quality MRIs, newer screening tests that in the bulk of cases, when picked up early, prostate cancer is very manageable. So can't emphasize enough how important it is to be an advocate for your own health when it comes to prostate cancer screening and speak to your doctor about it.
He says prostate cancer is one of the most common forms of cancer in the U.S. There are more than 300,000 cases diagnosed every year. It's also responsible for 30,000 deaths annually.
This morning, the San Diego County Sheriff's Office is deploying extra patrols near local fertility centers. This comes after a deadly bombing of a Palm Springs fertility clinic on Saturday. The Sheriff's Office here says right now there are no known threats and the extra patrols are just a precaution. The FBI identified 25-year-old Guy Bartkus as the bomber. Bartkus died in the blast, which also injured 4 others. Authorities say that it was a terrorist attack driven by his anti-pro-life nihilistic beliefs as expressed in writings that he left behind. Bartkus allegedly tried to film the explosion, but the video failed to upload. The blast caused significant damage to the facility, but spared all embryos at the clinic. And today, the Del Mar City Council is scheduled to consider a local ordinance to implement Senate Bill 9. That law aims to streamline the process for building multiple units and lot splits on single-family zoned properties. In June of 2023, the Coastal Commission suggested modifications to Del Mar's Senate Bill 9 ordinance. Del Mar must accept the modifications to remain compliant with state housing law. Following today's introduction, the ordinance will be considered for adoption on June 2nd before taking effect in July. And starting tonight, part of College Avenue will be closed as crews paint lanes on the newly resurfaced street. This is happening from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily through Thursday. This is right next to SDSU from Del Cerro Boulevard to Canyon Crest Drive and Alvarado Road. The on and off ramps to the 8 will be closed and traffic on College Avenue will be reduced to 1 lane. That's pretty important to note because that area already kind of gets congested. So important to note there. But as we switch gears here to weather, Evan, a lot of people looking forward to this week.
Yeah, a beautiful one ahead.
Pretty nice, right?
Feels almost like summer. No May Gray to kick off our Monday.
There you go.
So
That's
how
nice.
about that? Live look outside from our photographer Julio.
Oh,
this is Balboa Park. You got the El Prado Bridge looking beautiful. Some people out walking the dogs, you know, getting their day started. And I mean, the best part of it is that you already have the sun on hand. You don't have to wait for the gray to dissipate. You've already got it with you. That is not to say that we're going to have that be the case every day this week, but it is less likely that we'll encounter cloud cover from now through about Wednesday as a ridge of high pressure keeps building and warms these temperatures up even more. By the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, our coastline will likely be peaking a few degrees warmer than where we're at for this afternoon. We're going to get warmer across our inland valleys. I mean, we're going to likely climb by another 5 to 10 degrees across almost every part of the county, especially the deserts where Thursday's afternoon high is 105 degrees. Here's another live look outside. This is from Mount Soledad. Again, weak cloud cover, if any at all. When we look at what we have to expect over the course of the next several days, it's a big contrast to what we saw over the course of our Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Just as the Padres game began on Saturday, that rain did too. So everyone who was out at Petco Park likely felt some raindrops. Otay Mountain came in with the heaviest accumulations at 14/100ths of an inch, just over a tenth. Ramona, Brownfield, Carlsbad, downtown San Diego, they all had a couple hundredths of an inch, but pretty much everyone stayed under that tenth of an inch marker. So sure, it was wet in some spots around the county, but not wet enough to really add any notable dent to our rain totals. Here's how that ridge is going to affect us between now and Wednesday. Our inland valleys especially climb to the upper 80s. And then after that, we'll start to see those temperatures slide for Thursday, Friday, and the upcoming weekend. That'll also come along with an increase in cloud cover. Let's check in on traffic. We have one crash to take you to this morning. And in fact, not even a crash, just a stalled vehicle as we start off the morning. So this is on the 94. You got the left lane blocked right now with a stalled vehicle on the 94 westbound at College Avenue. Pretty heavily trafficked route this morning, so expect it to cause some delays if CHP isn't able to clear it quickly, but it looks like they're already on scene. They will likely be able to, considering this is just a stalled vehicle. And right now, volume is still very light for the early 6 o'clock hour. So more is on our website, cbs8.com/traffic. Checking in on border wait times, 105-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, not going to get across much faster. Both will take you about an hour 40, hour 45 before you get across. And again, Otay Mesa Port of Entry, about 100 minutes.